Absolute Green Lantern issue 11. Al Ewing writing with JAHNOY LINDSAY on the art. And we got all sorts of things going on here with the Obsidian project and whatnot.
Yep.
So fun to be had.
I was having stomach troubles at, early morning. So I was up, taking care of business, and I was like, I can't get back to sleep. I'm going to read. So I read this. And then when I fell back asleep, I was having dreams about the red energy, about Obsidian, about all this other stuff. So I got to say, Al Ewing's working some magic kind of stuff here. I don't like it. I need the Lantern energy out of my brain. Okay, please come and remove it. I don't want to be a victim of Hector Hammond at this point.
Oh, that's funny.
But all the character stuff here, really, really working. And it clicked on me on who Absolute Chase is reminding me of. And it's Kim from Better Call Saul. Like, she just kind of has this shiftiness to her, where she gets in over her head and she's like, what am I going to do? And then she has an idea. And yeah, I was getting those vibes reading, later in the book. So, but yeah, this was, Pete, I might need help remembering some of the stuff, because always the new lore when it comes to the Green Lantern stuff, I'm having a hard time keeping all the terms straight, so we might need help for clarification as we talk about the story points.
I love how you assume I'm going to remember all of it, which we'll find out, I suppose. So the opening teases Tomar Ray, right? And the Tomar Ray's got anger and he has to give up his anger. And he's like, F you, I'm not giving up my anger. You've not suffered, you big evil voice with the dark ring. So that's just a tease for later. We'll come back to him, right? We're a few weeks later. Hal wakes up next to Baz, and the rest of the crew are here. We got Chase, we've got the clairvoyant lady whose name I keep forgetting, and obviously Joe is there as well. They're in a hideout somewhere that Chase has had sort of prepared for a rainy day, and they're basically just going over what's happened, the fact that their boss might not be trusted because their boss is the only person who knew where Hal was at Chase's apartment, and then all of a sudden this assassin dude showed up, so we must have a leak somewhere, and they all seem to think that everyone in the room's trustworthy. It must be the boss, and to be fair, I mean, clairvoyant lady might be dead by the end of the last issue, or by the end of this issue anyway, so it's not like she's even a suspect anymore, and I highly doubt that we're going to make Baz be the traitor. So Chase is like, I think we need to kill my boss, and they're like, wait, what? How are we going to do this? So they're putting all this together, they're piecing things, and that's basically recapping everything here. But as this is going on, we see like some testing happen. We see like some soldiers like going through the woods, and ultimately a splat, and then this big, I don't even know what to call this Project Obsidian thing, like an organic mech suit, I guess, is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, because there's this big midpoint to it, right? But then there's like spider legs coming off it, and there's not 8, right? But there's enough where
I think spider legs doesn't paint the right picture, because I don't think they look spider legs.
No.
It's more like there's a central like pure black sphere that looks like it's made of like glass or some kind of marble or something, and then the outside of that there's this craggy kind of look. It's almost like big black tree trunks are the legs, but there's like 4 of them, so it's a really weird looking thing. And what they've done in the art here is there's just kind of the vague impression of a face in the black sort of glass part to make it look like, oh, Ted Rice is in there. Like there is and it's really creepy. It's like a horror movie style image of what this little face that's on this surface, or inside this like metallic or glass-like surface.
Yeah, so as we see him just wreck shop, right, at this Project Obsidian, it even goes to the face, like it's on the page where we see Hammond wearing the Mento helmet, and just there's like a face there, right, but there's no expression on it. Which gives it that much creepier. It's almost just like he's not really existing, right? He's just in that suit, and it's so creepy.
Well,
Existential terror.
Yeah, I think he's there, but he's like, I think there's kind of because it reveals that Hammond's controlling this, right, with this headset. He's got this headset on, and there's actually like a dark comedy beat here where the guys that are being hunted, one of them says, "Oh, I think Hammond's hunting me," and I don't even know why, but I bet it's something that whatever I did, I'm sorry. If I was late to a meeting by 10 minutes, I'm sorry. The idea that Hammond's that petty, and then after he kills them, we just see him smirking. He says, "Well, maybe next time you won't whistle in the elevator," and I'm like, "All right." He's evil as shit. We've established that at the very least. But this all sets up that they've got this Obsidian project is this big kind of being made out of the Obsidian material. Ted Rice is in there as like the computer that drives the whole thing, but it's Hammond that uses this like sort of like headset helmet to control the whole thing. And yeah, so like, you know, they're basically debating like, you know, with his like assistant lady or whoever she is. I forget who this character is, but talking about like, oh, we need to, because she wants to be safer about it. We're going too fast. You know, these people that we're killing have got families, and he of course doesn't care about any of that. Of course he doesn't. They call it the mental device as well, just for the record.
And his assistant is Carol. That is absolute Carol.
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
Did we know that?
Yeah.
Okay, I just forgot that then. Okay, fair enough. That makes sense.
That's right.
So yeah, so she's not like super enthusiastic about all this, of course. Yeah, so, and she also thinks it's dangerous what they're doing here. And this helmet's really, yeah. So anyway, he's just enthusiastic. He's all about it. He wants to find Hal Jordan. He wants to find the others, and ultimately this is all sort of building up to like the Obsidian project crashing into like the Green Lantern characters later on. Yeah, right, because we go back to the other characters who are still sitting around the table debating stuff, and then eventually the Obsidian thing's going to come crashing in.
Yeah, and so the Obsidian, Todd's being drawn to Hal because Hal was the Black Hand. Yes. Right. And so because Hammond's like attracts like a magnet, and Carol's like, no, magnets repel like, that's how it works. And he has this whole, well, are you the genius or am I? So yeah, I like that he's this petty, you know, fake tech billionaire kind of vibe. And then so yeah, it's just like if we can give it an idea of where Hal is, it'll go find it. And,
yeah. He also says that like for anyone else would be killed for even disagreeing him, like she just did, but she's just important enough that he won't, at least for now. Like that tipping point might come where like she's not as important to him as she once was, and he'll just kill her because he's petty like that. But basically, when we go back to the other characters, though, they want to have the clairvoyant lady to use her powers, right? Because Hal's like, hey, so you see things, you understand things. And part of her powers, other than sort of getting vague ideas of the future, is like touching an object and getting something from that object. So Joe takes off the ring, which all the Green Lantern powers now in, her wedding ring, and gives it to her and says, hey, can you get anything out of this? And she's like, okay, I'll try, but I can't promise. And we get this splash page where she basically gets a bunch of visions in different colors. At least that's how it's represented to us anyway. And one of them is Tomar Ray in the red saying, have you suffered? Right? And we have, in black, we have Baz. In gold, we have John Stewart. Right? And that all makes sense. However, we have 3 other colors here that we have not really had yet. We have one that's more yellow than gold, and notably, that's a very Sinestro-looking MFer in there, saying enemy sphere. They have the
same hairline, Pete.
Was that just that? The mustache, the eyebrows, the ears, like it's very Sinestro. And then you've also got in like pink or violet, whatever you want to call it. You've got what looks like Hal, just based on the art from the other pages, reaching out and saying Tomar Anomaly. And then you've got a blue panel with someone just saying the face of steel. Now, the implication later on that this is a Manhunter. This is the Manhunters in this one. But I'm like, okay, so there's a couple of colors here that we've not seen yet, adding to the mix here. And there's some visions of the future, because there's a moment where Baz is yelling, Carrie, no. That's her name, I guess, because I forgot that. And
I went to look, it's Carrie Limbo.
There you
right?
go.
So
I was never going to, in a million years, bring that name out of my ass. But that's actually teasing later in the issue because she gets hit pretty bad, and so that's actually just a very quick tease. So yeah, but yeah, she's like reading the ring, and she's like, "Oh, the enemy is the face of steel," and then the page ends with her saying, "No man escapes the," and then that's like the next page is the full page spread of the obsidian. I guess we'll call it the claw coming in and swiping at her, and that's kind of the big moment there.
And that's where she says, "I remember this." And it was just like, oh my God, that's so tragic. She saw her death.
Yeah. But
you know,
the other thing though in that page though, before she gets to the Manhunter thing, is she talks about like so there's something huge coming towards Earth, and Joe's like, it's the Black Star world, right? John Stewart told me that. And then she's like, no, think bigger. Who's driving it? Which hand is on the wheel? And she says, the left hand, his name, it's not a name, Sin S Tro, like 3 words. And I'm like, holy shit, Sinestro's the one driving the Black Star planet, like somehow.
Well, and here's the thing too, when it comes to like a cult, the whole idea of the left-handed path, right? That's the kind of chaos magic-y thing that you get into. So the fact that he's representing the left hand and what we know about Sinestro and that color of yellow being different than the John's gold, right? Which is part of one of the levels that we've learned so far. You know, there's all this intention that's going on here that is just building all this mythology up even more. And it's, you know, it's a death sentence. That's what Sinestro translates to. You know, like, it's a lot going on here.
It was a really good moment because I was reading it and she was like, Sin S Tro. And it almost took my brain just an extra second to process. Oh wait, Sinestro, like just, you know, because it just took that like, my brain just that little second just to like put it together. So it's like, okay, we're teasing Sinestro as the big bad, and that's cool. But then there's more stuff because like so Obsidian comes crashing in under the control of Hammond and swipes and kills Carrie seemingly, and then Baz gets like thrown back against the wall, and his mask gets partially ripped off. It's loose. And he interestingly holds up his hand and says, no, my mask is loose. No one show me a mirror. Which is a very interesting detail that, wait, so are you like cursed or something where if you see your own reflection, it'll kill you? Or
yeah, so that was when he was introduced. That was from one of their cases of him and Carrie, that somebody put the curse on him that he can't look at his face in the mirror where he'll try to tear it off. Which is why he always wears the mask.
Oh, I don't remember that. I don't remember that coming up.
Oh, yeah. That was 2 issues ago, I think, when they introduced Baz as a character. But I also love that, he, you know, in wrestling terms, he does the Lucha Libre hold when the Lucha mask gets ripped off. And he's covering his face so no one can see it. You know, so I appreciated that on that level. But yeah, it goes from bad to worse here. Like, bullets aren't stopping it.
Yeah.
You know, which we had known from Hammond's tests.
Yeah, Chase, Joe, and Hal are running away. Although Chase does point out, okay, bullets aren't hurting it, but it does seem to distract it. Meaning there is a mind in there. Someone's controlling this thing. It's not just like a big mindless monster. So Hammond's like sort of seeing Mullen through his eyes, and notably, Joe still has the ring off. The ring's with Carrie's body under the rubble and whatever else. So it's like, shit, we have to get that ring. And then the end of the issue leaves them. So that's like a little cliffhanger for their story. And then the other part of the issue at the end is Guy and John. So Guy's all in red, John's all in gold. And they both got a symbol, like red, or Guy's got like basically an equal sign on his chest. And then
like the parallel.
Yeah, and then John's got the circle, the gold circle. So this is interesting. But yeah. So yeah, basically the big cliffhanger here is that they're thinking, oh shit, something's coming. And he's like, oh, it's an anomaly, a Tomar, and John was expecting him, and he's like, oh, I'm not here to visit Earth, I'm here to take over. So Tomar Ray might be holding on to his anger a little bit and creating problems because they're having this conversation on the moon. Like they're just sort of chilling on the moon talking about stuff and what to do.
And also, Guy ends up being the first, they call it the Ayn Rao, right? which is he is on the same level as John, but for red instead of the gold. It says, congratulations. How are we looking at, do you think? And then he gives the out of 2,814, which of course is the sector traditionally. That's all the levels. We're not ready. So I do love the idea that these colors and what they're like higher states of consciousness, right? And this is the first time anyone has hit that red one, which again, when he sees Tomar Ray coming over, he sees, oh, it's red, something like me. And when John's like, no, that's an anomaly. You guys are different still, right? So I love all of this, how they're parsing it out. It's also hard to try to keep all the terms straight, you know, like the Abin and the Eins and the anomalies and all of this. But yes, the idea that it's a higher state of consciousness, and Guy Gardner is the first one to show that level of restraint, which being Guy Gardner is hilarious. Like that is a great joke, Al Ewing. Making absolute Guy Gardner capable of that much restraint that he's entered a different consciousness, you know? But yeah.
But it leaves these two characters on a
things.
cliffhanger on the moon, as well as everything going on Earth, which, admittedly, the stuff on Earth I think is the more exciting stuff right now, but obviously we're building some big cosmic stuff with these with the other Lantern characters, so very good. I think the stuff they're doing with the Obsidian project is a lot of fun, and I think the big moments with that here are great. I think much like Batman, I think this one like suffers a little bit from the previous issue being so good and well paced and focused, whereas this one, it's jumping between the main group, and it's jumping to the moon with the other characters, and it's jumping to what the villain's up to. You know, it's jumping around a little bit more. It doesn't necessarily flow quite as perfectly as last issue did, where it was Joe like surviving against the hitman, and it was all very, very, you know, laser focused on that one ID and her trying to win, and it was very suspenseful as a result. This one doesn't quite have that, although there's some good, obviously, lore teases and stuff, especially that page where Carrie sees all these different things, including some new colors that we've not gotten to yet, which is interesting because the entire thing was explained to us in these 4 colors, and now it's like, but what are these other like other shades, these like in betweens, and the mixing colors together? Like, what are we doing here?
What is that violet? Like, I can get the difference with the yellow, right? Because we've seen that John has obtained that mastery, right? So gold is like the purest form of that. What's up with the lighter yellow? Like, what is that? You know, what kind of levers? Like, we know it's fear, right? But like, how does it pertain to the understanding of there? Is that like what happens when it mixes with the Black Hand?
Maybe,
right?
or
is he an anomaly?
It's maybe more just he's an anomaly of gold, but like it's tinted more traditional yellow because of how he's perverting it or something. The violet, I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously we can make assumptions based on what it means in the regular universe, but I like,
right?
You know, but red doesn't mean the same thing here as it does in the usual universe. So who's to say? Well,
and blue, if you're dropping that blue energy and it's the face of a manhunter, and they're talking about how the blue gaze steals people, right? That has nothing to do with hope, right? But traditionally, I believe the manhunter's face masks are blue, so that must be what that whole blue face means, you know? So, again, a lot of twists and turns and playing with its, you know, mythology here, but the high points are our heroes trying to survive still.
Yeah.
Right. It is not the space cop epic that we're used to with Green Lantern, and I love it for that.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Still digging what it's doing here, and then the time jump is interesting actually from the last event. So they actually just skipped a couple of weeks to get to this point. So very curious to see what they do with the cliffhangers here next time. And I assume a lot of it will be like Joe try to get back to her ring to have a fighting chance against Obsidian, because otherwise, you know, maybe not. So, all right, what are you giving Absolute Green Lantern issue 11?
I'm giving this an 8.5.
I am going to give it, I think I'll just go with a flat 8 on this one. So we're switching from the last book, but Yeah, it's very good. I just it's not quite as strong as the last issue,